In this audio series, we will join author and former entertainer Bobby Grace on a first-person romp through his patch of the Central American jungle. We will dodge determined Mayan matchmakers, deliver respect chickens, savor frontier donuts, share the surprise of receiving a Kekchi gift wife, and enjoy drinks with a host of colorful frontier characters. All are here in this anthology of stories chronicling Bobby's arrival and subsequent years living among the people of the small Kekchi River aldea he now calls home. Rumors of Meatloaf and Other Stories from the Cayo is the first book in the Bobby Grace Cayo series. Original copyright 2021. Rumors of Meatloaf is available in the print version from Amazon.com and in ebook form from Kindle. It is presented here in its entirety. So mix a drink, take your shoes off, put your feet up, and enjoy. Let's get started. Forward. The gods have blessed me with a rich and colourful life in the company of others of sufficient diversity to educate me and of sufficient similarity to comfort me. A life of passion and adventure, laughter and music. A life better than I deserved. The gods are great. The gods are kind. Bendiciones, Bobby Grace, Tempest, Aldea Los Duartes, Cayo Quemado, Isabel, Guatemala. A Story of Old by Bobby Grace. It seems it was just last week that I was a young warrior. I've become old now. Not weary, not infirm, just old. It's not the worst thing I've ever had happen in this life. If you hear some old people whining about it, they're probably not doing it right. Getting old, I mean. It's not like I didn't know it was coming, or feared it, or anything like that. It's just the way things work. A guy starts out young at one end, and if he keeps on not dying, the years go by, and he wakes up old one day near the other end. It works out pretty well as far as I'm concerned. I don't mind being old, and getting here sure as hell has been fun. It can be a little disconcerting looking in the mirror sometimes and seeing the scars and lines that I've accumulated over the years. The disappearing hair, the wrinkles, the grey of my beard, all serve to remind me that I don't look to others as I see myself. Nope. Inside here, I'm still the same young hillbilly kid driving this decrepit meat sack who started out more than 6 decades ago. 6 decades just leave a lot of wear and tear on a bag of bones and flesh. I've had a colourful run. Truck stop tire buster, door-to-door salesman, US Navy submariner, stripper, corporate hatchet man, telemarketer, escort, professor, internet business developer, touring musician, writer, and a couple of jobs I won't put into print. If you pile them all up, that's the me you meet now. Looking like an aging and overused Pontiac GTO, sun-scorched, high mileage, dented, a little Bondo here and there with spotted primer and bald tires. I've been stabbed twice, cut once, and had my ass handed to me more than a few times in brawls I shouldn't have been in the middle of in the first place. I've never been shot or broken any bones. I suppose there's still time, though. As you might guess, I don't spend a lot of time in front of the mirror, just enough to see which parts are falling off. I don't mind being old as much as I thought I would, mostly because I don't have much say in it. I'm old only because I haven't died yet. May you never live a day longer than you choose, is the traditional birthday toast of my tribe. So far so good. I ain't dead yet, and still digging the ride. Life seems to have gone by fast enough anyway, from where I'm sitting now. In a boat, on a jungle river, on my last big adventure. I'd gone as far as my ability and luck could take me in my late life music career. I'd been working through what exactly the hell I was going to do next. Aided by an individual with a vagina, a crusade, and a remarkable intolerance of the way others live, I was given the opportunity to learn the intricacies of America's criminal justice system. When I came out the other end of that nearly 2-year clusterfuck, I decided I had time for one last big adventure, gave away all my shit, bought a sailboat, and landed here in a remote Kekchi River aldea in the Mayan jungle. It's great to be lucky. It is a peaceful life here, for the most part. Tranquillo, as the locals say it, but a guy can't make the mistake of forgetting this is the jungle, the frontier, the outer edge. It's a place where a man can be kind, a man can be compassionate, but a man cannot be weak or soft, or he won't survive here. It's postcard pretty, but it can become jailhouse mean in the blink of an eye. Vida sin reglas, life without rules. It keeps a guy on his toes. A man is responsible for himself, accountable for his own actions and behavior toward others. Consequences of a man's actions are immediate, often violent. There's no law to call, no authority to hide behind, no attorneys to intervene on one's behalf. It is no place for a man unaccustomed to standing in his own shoes. It is, however, a place where the excitement of a day's worth of living can result in a lifetime's worth of stories, and maybe the loss of an eye or a permanent limp if a guy's not careful. When I look at it, life so far has been a long string of adventures. I see no reason that should stop. Hell, I'm old, not feeble. I aim to continue until I am incapacitated or dead. Neither is probably far off. I'm trying not to waste the remaining time playing golf, comparing long-term care facilities, or talking about prostate exams over 10-cent coffee at McDonald's. I prefer earning my place here, matching wits daily with the jungle, embracing the ways of the river and sea, making my way among a people with whom I am only beginning to share a common language, immersed in cultures and customs older than Christianity. This probably won't make me the headliner on Valhalla's storyteller playbill when we tell our life tales, but I'll damn sure be an opening act when I get there. I don't know how this jackknife into geriatric adventure is going to pan out, to tell you the truth. I might as well be from another planet, as far as the folks in my chosen home are concerned. I am a big white gringo in a short brown Mayan world. I arrived with no skills that could be considered useful here in the jungle. I didn't know how to fish. I couldn't fix an outboard motor. I'm not a carpenter or a woodworker. I didn't know the culture or customs, and I didn't speak the language. I couldn't even drive a launcher without sending half the Aldea running for cover. Not much of a resume for an old man showing up in this patch of jungle. Squiring middle-aged women around town, banging the hell out of a box guitar, or managing a band's tour schedule aren't skills held in much value here. There is a certain incredulity in the faces of the Aldea folks when I tell them I used to make up songs and drive around playing them for anybody who would listen. There's still a bit of incredulity in that for me, if you want to know the truth. I mean, really, what kind of job is that for a grown man? Beats the hell out of me, but I ain't thinking about it in an armchair. Instead, I'm riding around Central America in sailboats, drinking rum with real Honduran pirates, comparing scars with real Guatemalan revolutionaries, swapping stories with dudes from Asia, Europe, Africa. I've spent days branding cattle at a local finca, nights chasing ladrones, thieves, with a 12-gauge shotgun, a 15-horsepower outboard, and a 16-foot launcher full of drunk, pissed-off vecinos pumping out more small-caliber rounds than a Rambo movie. Hoo-yah! I like the challenge and excitement, the immediacy, the intensity of life here. It feels the same as it did when I was a young warrior. It's a vitality I refuse to lose to the comfort of a recliner in front of a big screen TV. I'm pretty sure a lazy boy would make my ass itch anyway. Yup, it's what I was looking for, all right. One last big adventure before I die. Something to talk about when I get to the big table yonder. I damn sure got it. I ain't preaching it as a way of life, not trying to start a movement or anything, not telling you to give away your 401k, quit your job at the Walmart, or give up your senior center dance club membership and shoot off into the wilderness. I want to be very clear. When I said life here, for the most part, is tranquilo, I didn't mean boring. A guy could sprain an adrenal gland here if he's not careful. Midnight runs into the Caribbean to get some bozo out of the country who overstayed his welcome, or slipping into some country to pick up a knucklehead who wrecked up on a reef, or is in some kind of trouble because he didn't know how to act right in whatever place we have to snatch his dumbass out of. Yup, I've done every one of them since I landed here, lonesome dove in the middle of the jungle. A guy couldn't ask for more at any age, but nothing changes the fact that I'm old. My body is less durable, vital still, but no longer possessing the strength of youth. The bruises last longer, the wounds heal slower, balance is sometimes tenuous. A guy's got to take those things into consideration. It doesn't mean a guy's got to stop doing. He's just got to be willing to pay the price. As my grandmother Grace used to say, a boy's got to be able to take a punch. I am aware that the view in my rearview mirror is far longer than the view out my windshield, and one day soon I'll be racing around the jungles of the Western Caribbean, laughing and shouting, Hoo-yah, and this last big adventure will end. So be it. My children and grandchild will have a good story to tell to their children and grandchildren about a progenitor, well into his senior years, who just up and fucked off into the jungle one day, looking for adventure. I just hope they're not telling it from a Massago Magic Miracle recliner.